if you haven't heard anything that I said for the past, I think 5 or 6 videos, you need to hear this one, because this one is the hardest thing that is required in order to have a divorce proof marriage. You cannot do without that one. It's impossible to have a divorce proof marriage if this ingredient is not included in your daily living. I know you're asking already, okay, what is she going to say now? What is it now that we have to do? Let me tell you what it is. It's not easy to do, but I can tell you what it is right now. It is to forgive and move on as if nothing happened. I'm not saying that you're going to forgive and move on and not let the person have repercussion for what he or she did. But what I'm saying is not to let what the person did to you be so vivid, you're so in tune with it that you cannot do anything else. Like everything that person does, you bring that back to life. It would be an endless situation. Why should you forgive? It is crazy, right? We forgive our best friend. We forgive even people we don't know, your co-workers, your classmates, your teacher. But when it comes to your spouse, you have a big time, great difficulties to forgive. I don't know what it is. You are able to forgive, I mean, most everybody, not everybody, but most everybody. But when it comes to your spouse, you have big time forgiving your spouse. Let me tell you why. Because you don't expect them to hurt you. You don't expect them to say something bad to you. You don't expect them to act ill toward you. So it's the expectation that makes it so hard to forgive, because you say, that's my spouse. My spouse is supposed to love me, cherish me, there for me, support me, and then she or he does that to me. That's unforgivable. That's what we say most of the time. But believe it or not, forgiving your spouse for doing something to you and move on, it's not beneficial to only your spouse, but it is beneficial to you, because you have a better state of mind that, okay, I'm not going to let that diminish my love for my spouse. As I stated before in some other videos, the love that will keep you together is not the Eros love. It's not the love that I'm so in love with you. I love everything about you. You're just perfect. You're just beautiful. No, that love is not gonna. That love will take you to your honeymoon, and then as soon as you come back from your honeymoon, you get a reality check and find out, no, that love is not gonna take you too far. So, in order for you to keep the agape that you have for your spouse, you must forgive and move on. Forgive and move on. Forgive and move on. And I say that every single time. If you are not ready to give and give and give and keep on giving, when you're tired of giving, you give more. When you're sick of giving, you give more. When you don't feel like giving anymore, you give more. That's when you are ready to get married. That means by yourself, you're already one. But if you're looking for another piece to make you one, you are already in the air, because you are one and your spouse is one. That's what the Bible says. One and one becomes one. It's not half and half become one. Because if you are depending on your spouse to bring that other side for you to become one, that other half for you to become one, you are mistaken, because it's not going to happen. And I say that again, unless you are able to entertain yourself, do not get married. You have to be able to be one, you and God, depending on God alone. It took me a while to, by the grace of God, muster the courage to know that I am one with God. That means my husband became the icing on the cake. My cake is full. My cake is beautiful. My cake doesn't let me down. My cake loves me beyond anything. My cake provides for me beyond anything. So, what my husband becomes is a tool that my cake uses to make it better. So, I have a first husband. His name is Jesus. My first husband is everything to me. My second husband is David, if you didn't know. And he is the icing on my cake. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, unless you are that way, do not get married. You're going to be disappointed. You're going to be let down. You're going to be feeling like, what did I get myself into? All these questions will be asked because you are not one to begin with. You were looking for a man. You were looking for a woman to satisfy you, to bring you to where you want to be. And that's impossible. Impossible. Yes, the person can enhance your life. The person can make you feel better. You feel like you have a companion. You have a friend that you can talk to. You have a husband when you want to hug, when you want to cuddle, when you want to kiss, when you want, you know what? You can have it, okay? But not because that person is everything to you. That person is just icing on your cake. Because you already have your cake, you can eat it whenever you feel like it. Because that cake is already great all by itself. So, with that said, when your wife does something that you didn't expect your wife to do, or your husband does something that you didn't expect your husband to do, look beyond, see the greater picture, and see why he did what he did. It's because somebody, some spirit cannot stand the fact that you are staying married. Sometimes it's you that the spirit uses to impact wrongly your marriage, and sometimes it is your spouse that the spirit looks. So do not be against each other butting heads, but let's fight the spirit that is getting a hold of your spouse to do wrong to you so you can be separated. Because God says, let no man, including you, including your spouse, separate what he has put together. So with that said, let me give you another one, another principle. I mean, this one is the fifth principle that says forgive and move on. I'm going to give you a sixth principle together. The sixth principle is divorce is not an option. When you get married, you are marrying the person you love, the person that you vow to spend your life with, the person that you vow to love in and out of season. Let me put it that way, because it's not every time you're going to feel like loving that person, but you vow to love that person in sickness and in health. And all these vows that you made at your wedding ceremony comes with this here. Divorce is not an option unless one of the spouses dies. If they are still alive, you are married for life. So with that said, let me tell you something. This lady talking to you right now. I remember after I got married, I was still in love. I am still in love right now. I was like in love head over heels and loving my husband like it's nobody's business, everything. And then something happened, and I said to myself, I am getting out of this marriage. And I told my husband I want to be separated. It wasn't too long after I got married. Actually, it was like a year and 3 months when that happened. I said, I'm out. I want out. I want a divorce. My husband looked at me and then he turned away. Didn't say anything to me. 1 day passed, 2 days passed, 3 days passed. And I was still in my feelings. I want a divorce because my husband can't make me happy. And I would rather be unhappy by myself than be unhappy with my husband. He didn't say anything to me. Kept on living life as if I didn't say anything like that. And then one day he said, come here. I said, nope. He said, come here, I need to talk to you. He grabbed me actually. And then usually when he wants me to listen to him, he would sit me on his lap and put his arm around me so I won't move. So that's what he did that day. He said, let me tell you something. I never want to hear you say that you want a divorce ever again. Because this word is a part of our marriage. This word is taboo in our house. I don't ever, never, as long as we live, want to hear the word divorce again. Divorce is not of God. God despises it, and so must we. Don't ever say you want a divorce again. When He puts God in it, I had no choice but to agree to never say that word divorce. And until today, I have never said that word again. I don't care what we go through, ups and downs, we work it out. We work it out. We work it out, and we keep working it out to a point where we're not immune to ups and downs, but I think God has given us the antidote to ups and downs. It is to go to Him every time and work it out between ourselves. So it is possible. They say 50 in the world, 50 in the church get a divorce after marriage. It's 50% of us is making it. So can you. And I remember when I would come home with my report card, and my report card would say I made a 60% or 50%. My mom would say, okay, was that the highest grade in your class? No, it wasn't the highest grade. My mom said, did somebody make 100, 90, 80? I said, yeah. And she said, so can you. So can you. You have the ability to make it. You have the ability to make it work. You have the ability to work it out because you are a child of God. Make it work. Don't give up. Don't wash your hands with it. So what are you going to do? Get a second husband, a third, a fourth, a fifth, a seventh? None of them come perfect. None of them. They have flaws, just like you have flaws. And whatever that is over your head or over her head, over your husband's head, put your hands together and pray that God will take that away and keep working it out. Work it out, work it out, work it out. And pretty soon you see, you're so used to working it out that you don't even think about divorce anymore. That's true. Divorce cannot be an option. Any option that you have, you will grab at one point. But if it is not an option, the option that you have is to work it out, you will work it out every time. And another thing that is great to do is to take ownership of your spouse, ownership of your marriage, ownership of the way you interact with each other. Take ownership of that. If it is wrong, you should take the responsibility and you should say, I did wrong, so I need to take ownership of it and then fix it. By the grace of God, of course. You can do it on your own. Fix it. Take ownership. That's my husband. That's my wife. I did her wrong. I did him wrong. Hon, I did you wrong. Hon, I did you wrong. Let's fix it. Sorry. Please forgive me. There must be a repercussion. Otherwise, that person will keep on taking advantage of the fact that you're going to forgive anyway. So I can do whatever I want to do. But I don't think someone will do to you like that, because if that person is saying the same thing, that person will forgive you. You will forgive that person. So we will try our best not to offend each other. That's what I believe. So forgive and move on. A divorce is not an option. Working it out, going to God, is the only option in your marriage. If you declare that today, you believe it today, that's what it is. I pray that God bless you with long-suffering spirit, and be joyful at all time, and praise and honor and worship God at all time, in good and bad time, in and out of season. I pray so for your marriage to be strengthened so you can move on with your life happily ever after. Yes, it works. Marriage is beautiful. Actually, when I was younger, I wanted to be celibate for the rest of my life until I met my husband. I said that before that I thought was too good to be true, but he is real. So I thank God. He didn't let me be a celibate for the rest of my life, but he brought me who I was looking for. He's not perfect, far from being perfect, but we choose to work it out. It's a choice that we make because we support our vows to each other. Work it out. Amen. All right. If you like it, thumbs up. If you don't like it, thumbs up. And please leave me some comments and subscribe. Please subscribe. Until next time, may God bless you. Have a beautiful day. I love you. I truly love you. Bye-bye.